Hello, welcome, and thanks for watching this product focus series brought to you by Keystroke. Welcome to the fourth Project KickStart tutorial where we'll learn how to use the Gantt chart to manage a product's timeline. We continue with the Project KickStart online tutorials project from the previous lessons. The main purpose of the Gantt chart is to present the project's timeline visually, as we see here on the right. First, we notice that all of these tasks are 1 day in length. This is just Project KickStart's default duration. These task durations and start dates are 90% of what planners will edit here. We can use the project scaling feature here to change days to weeks to get a better view of the task box. Now, one way to change the task durations and dates of each task is here in these three columns. Double-clicking on the days field will open that to editing. Double-clicking on any of the dates will bring up a handy calendar for date editing. However, the easiest way to change dates and durations is on the Gantt chart itself. Hold the mouse button down on the finish date and make it longer or make it shorter. Hold the mouse down on the start date and make it sooner or make it later. Hold the mouse button down in the middle of the task and slide it left or slide it right. This is how the plan appears after adjusting all of the task dates and durations. The scale has been set to weeks to show more of the plan. Zooming in at the day scale, we can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days will pass before this task is completed. Even though here it shows that it's a 5-day task. It happens to fall over a weekend, which Project KickStart automatically takes into account. It's very important for planners to understand the difference between working time and an elapsed time in order to make good time estimates. Working time here is the 5 days that people will work on this task. Elapsed time is the 7 calendar days that will pass while the task is worked on. So here's a 3-day task that starts on a Wednesday and, as expected, finishes on a Friday. Working time and elapsed time are both 3 days. Here's another 3-day task, like the example we saw before, that starts on Thursday and ends on a Monday because it straddles a weekend. In this case, however, the planner might reasonably think that if people will come into work on Saturday, they can start a new task on Monday. Clicking on this icon brings up a calendar that allows the user to change working and non-working days. We'll change the 17th to a working day just by clicking on it, and now the task is done in 3 days. Planners also use the project calendar to change holidays into non-working days. Here is an example of a 3-day task that requires 7 elapsed calendar days to complete. This task starts on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, but the planner knows that many in the company will take the following Friday off, so he also made Friday a non-working day. Not because it's an official holiday, but because the planner knows from experience that people are not very productive on the day after a feast. Now let's see how resource availability plays a critical role in elapsed days. So here's a 3-day task that requires 13 calendar days. In this case, the person assigned to the task is an intern who only works half days. The planner knows that a 3-day task with a half-time resource will take 6 days to complete, but the planner also realizes that the intern is not very experienced, so he wisely allows a 7th day for this task. Unfortunately, this task starts on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and the intern is taking Friday off. After the 4-day holiday weekend, the intern returns to work Monday through Friday. Then there's another weekend, and this 3-day task finishes 13 days after it is started. This brings us to the number one benefit of the Gantt chart, the ability to replan. This task will take too long according to this, but the Gantt chart has provided an insight for action. Perhaps a full-time experienced person needs to be assigned to this task. Maybe requirements of earlier tasks can be scaled back so this task start and finish before the holiday. Maybe a second resource who will work on the Friday and Saturday after Thanksgiving can help the intern. These are a few of the many alternatives open to the planner, but the point is that the planner wouldn't even know he had a problem to solve without the Gantt chart to review. In practice, planners will review the entire Gantt chart to make adjustments that will save time and ultimately money. We have learned about using Project KickStart as a planning tool. Now, returning to the online tutorials plan, we could learn more about how to use it as a project tracking tool. Project KickStart can track time here in the % done column. It can track cost here in the cost column. It was originally estimated that develop the first tutorial as a test would require 5 days and $500 of the consultant's time. % done is 0, indicating the task hasn't started yet. Later, it turned out that 5 days had passed, but quality had become more of an issue than anticipated, and as a result, the task was half complete. The planner clicked on the icon to bring up the task information box in order to make revisions. % done was updated to 50%, and the cost and time estimates were doubled. A note was also added to explain why the changes were made. Click Save, and we see that the changes are now reflected in the plan. The days have doubled, the % done is 50, the cost is $1,000, and now there's a bar within the taskbar to show % complete. The ability to modify any task in this way demonstrates how Project KickStart functions seamlessly as a project planning and a project tracking tool. Milestones and the color of the taskbars are two final Gantt chart features that can be helpful in planning and tracking. Tasks have durations, so they are spans of time. Milestones have 0 duration, so they are points in time. Here's a task identified as sign the contract, but signing a contract will not require 1 full day. It's really a milestone, so the planner can change this to 0, and now a diamond appears to indicate that in fact this is a milestone. Blue and black are the default colors of Project KickStart's tasks and phases. Planners can find several uses for changing these colors using this icon. This plan, for example, has 4 important tasks that require PKS testers. We can highlight these tasks here, 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 and here, go to the color palette, changing into purple, and now they really stand out in the plan. Now, borrowing from the colors of a traffic signal, the planner has used green to indicate that this phase is complete. This task is yellow to show that it is a task in progress, but it's falling behind, and this task, which is in red, is likely to suffer. The uses of color, particularly for task tracking, are limited only to the planner's imagination. So now we've seen how to use the Gantt chart to plan and track time, % done, and cost. We've also seen how to add milestones in color to convey additional information. Now here in the File menu are commands for printing task reports and for printing Gantt chart reports. And here along the top are options for exporting this plan to other programs. We'll learn more about these features and Project KickStart's uses as a communications tool in the next tutorial.